So okay dear soulmates, welcome once again to Diverse Fits. So we are going to be learning how to draft a funnel corset. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video for more. So the first thing to do is to divide your pattern paper into two so that you can be able to draft the front and the back piece together. So after that, I came down from the pattern paper by 0.75. Okay, this is because it's not okay to start your drafting from the beginning of the pattern paper. So after that, you place your tape and just start marking all your vertical body measurements. So the vertical body measurement is the length, like shoulder to chest line, shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to the half length, and shoulder to the full length. These are basically all the lines that I drew, and I'll go ahead to connect them. So after that, I'll go ahead and label out all the lines. So the SH starts for shoulder, the C starts for chest line, the B for the bust point, the UB for the under bust, the W for the waist, and the FL for the full length. So on the shoulder line, you're going to mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. You are to do the same on the chest line and connect with a straight line. So I'm going to mark 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the depth. Not necessarily so important because this corset is not having a yoke. But if you want yours to have a yoke, you can just add a yoke to it. So from here, I slant my shoulder down by 1.5, and I'm going to connect it to the width of the neck. So the next thing to do is to come to the bust point and divide your bust span by 2. You have to do the same on the full length of your corset. Okay, so I'm just going to mark the measurements across so that I could be able to get a perfect straight line. So I'll go ahead and find the middle of my shoulder so that I'm going to connect it with a straight line back to the bust point. Please don't forget to, when dividing your nipple to nipple, don't divide it on the chest line. Do it on the bust point, okay? So to create the armhole curve, you are going to find the middle of your shoulder, and from there you are going to come in by 0.75. So I'm just going to connect it, and it's going to stay like this for now. So the next thing to do is for me to go up by 1 inch. You can either go up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch from the chest line, okay? So you can use 1.5 or 1 inch, but don't go above 1.5. So from here, I'm going to mark my under bust contouring. Sometimes you can choose to mark the same measurements at this side and the side piece of the front, but for this one I use 0.75 in between the dark leg. That's what I was trying to say, okay? So I marked 0.75, which means that I've taken out 1.5. okay? Sometimes I can do 0.5 on the center front, and the other side I will remark the remaining one. So from the bust point, I went down by 0.5, and I'm going to connect it with a French curve. So from the center front, I'm going to come in by 1.5. okay, and I'm going to redraft these dark legs. I'm going to move them to this position. Okay, this is just how to go about it. So the other side, I'm going to bring it to the to the first, to the first dart leg. Do you guys get? Just do it like so. So I'm trying to cross check exactly what I have to see if it corresponds. Okay, and it corresponds, so I'm just going to reconnect the dart legs like this. So what it means is that I'm no longer using the dart legs for that is with the red marker. Red marker dart legs is no longer the darts I'll be using for this. Okay, so that's why I'm cancelling it, so that once you see that I've cancelled this line, it means that the line is no longer included in this tutorial. Okay, so even for the center line, it's no longer what included. So I'm just cross checking to make sure that I have the exact dart. So for the overbust tightening, I'm going to use 0.75 in between the dart leg. You can do 0.5, it's still okay. To check the length of these darts so that I will be sure that they are of the same length. Okay, so if they are not of the same length, you need to make sure that they are equal so that one will not come out shorter or longer than the other one. So you determine your neck depth. So I want mine to be 0.5 above the bust line. You can do below, or you can even take it as deep as you want depending on what you are making. Okay, it actually depends on your choice. Alright, so after this, I'll go ahead and start marking my round measurement, like the bust circumference measurement divided by 4. So as you can see, I made a mistake by marking it on the chest line, on the 1 inch we went above the chest line. So you have to mark it only on the chest line and the bust point. So I'm going to cross check the data I have here, and I'm going to take only one part and add to the bust divided by 4, and I'll be marking it only on the chest line and the bust point. Okay, so the remaining side I'm going to return it back to the shoulder line. I took 0.75, so which means I have added 0.75 at this point, and on the chest line I added the remaining one to the bust divided by 4. But please do not mark it on the 1 inch we want up above the chest line. Okay, so from here I will reconnect it like so. So I'll come to the center of that armhole and I'm going to remark the same 0.7 because I'm now trying to recreate this armhole. Do you guys get? We are trying to recreate our armhole because we need to return the dart we have already taken out. Alright, so after doing that, you just need to come down by 0.5 from that bust divided by 4 plus 0.75. So with your French curve, you are going to connect from the middle of the armhole back to that point. So now, did you see? I cancelled it, which means that armhole is no longer the armhole we are going to be needing for this tutorial. So from there, I'll just connect it like so, and that is it. So the next thing to do is to cross check what you have at that point, and you're going to mark it on the bust line. You guys get? You have to mark the same at the bust line. So at the under bust, you have to divide your round under bust by 4 plus the dart we took out. You need to return all these darts. You have to do the same on the waistline. That is your round waist by 4 plus the dart. Okay, so now I'll do the same here. My round upper hip circumference measurement divided by 4 plus that dart we just took out. Please, if you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this video, like, comment. Thank you so much for doing that, and God bless you. mark my bust dart, and that is 2 inches. That's the difference between my shoulder to waist for the front and shoulder to waist for the back. So I'm also going to check the length of this dart, and I'm going to make sure that it is of the same length. Okay, if one comes out looking long and the other one is short, it's going to affect your sewing and your outfit. So from the hem, you have to go up by 1 inch or 0.5. Okay, to avoid sharp edge at that point, and I'm just going to connect it like so. So you're now going to draft the funnel corset. So from the bust point, you have to drop down by 0.5. You can either use your French cuff to connect this. Okay, sometimes people they use straight ruler, but I've never used the straight ruler because I love this shape. Okay, so just take a good look at how I connected mine, and look at the height of the funnel corset. It went above the place where I connected from the opening of that dart back to the armhole. Okay, so you should make sure that it is like this on your own, so that it will just give you the same effect of what you want. So I'm going to divide what I have at this place to the end of that green line. That's the existing dart. I'm going to divide it into 2, and I'm going to add a cinching effect of just 0.5 here. You can do less or you can choose to do more. So I'm just going to add 0.5. That's marking 0.2 in between the lines. Okay, so this place, it depends on how cinched you want your waist to be. Okay, you can choose to use 0.1. Trust me, the effect will still be there. As far as this is corset, it will still give you the cinching what effect. So, and we are done drafting the front, we can now go ahead to draft the back. So the next thing I did was to extend that 0.5 starting line so that I can start drafting the back pattern. So after that, I mark my vertical measurement, chest line, half length and the full length. So I'm going to minus the hem to meet up because I used a bust dart, right? So on the shoulder to waist for the front and back, they are not also the same. So when you take that measurement, you'll be able to find out your own shoulder to waist for the back and shoulder to waist for the front. So I'm just drawing out the lines, and you guys know I didn't draw the bust line because there is no bust at the back pattern. Okay, so I just want to take out this excess. I want my center back to begin from this line that I'm drawing. You guys get? So take note on that. So from that point, I'm going to divide my shoulder by 2. I'll do the same on the shoulder line. So I'm going to mark the same width of neck. You guys know that the width of neck for the front and back will always be the same. So for the depth, you can either use 0.5, 1 inch or 1.5. Okay, so for the shoulder slant, I'm going to mark 1 inch. So I'm taking out that excess so that you guys will not get confused. Okay, so just know that this is where the center back started from. So on the chest line, I'm going to divide my round bust by 4. On the half length, I'm going to divide my round waist by 4 plus 2 inches. Okay, On the full length, I'm going to divide my upper hip by 4. I'm not adding anything to the upper hip or to the chest line. Take note on that, please. So now I'll come to this place and I'll mark 1.5. And I'll go down to the hem and mark 1 inch. So I'm just going to connect. So I'm going to divide whatever thing I have on the waist by 3. Okay? So you check what you have on your waist, then you divide it by what? By 3. We are going to be taking out the 2 inches we added to the waist divided by 4. You know I added 2 inches, so I'm going to make sure that I take out that 2 inches. So I'm going to be marking 0.5 in between the dart legs. I'll do for this side and the other side as well. So you have to extend this dart line above the chest line so that it will be able to help tighten that point a little bit. Okay? And also on the hem, you just need to extend it. But as you are doing it, you are narrowing the line so that the line will become smaller at that point. Okay? Just cross-checking the darts to see that it is all the same. So this is where I'm going to be adding your eyelets. Alright, so from here I'm going to drop down by 0.5 and from there I'm going to find the middle of the armhole and I'll just go in by 0.5. So I'm going to connect because you know that we drop down by 0.5 on the chest, on the front, so we are going to do the same here. If not, it's not going to align at the end of the day. So you need to make sure that you are going to make sure that you do it so that the front and the back will fit perfectly. Okay? So I'll still go up by 0.5 because I also went up by 0.5 from the front pattern. So you have to do all the same for the back as well. So now I label my bars and I have 3. And with that you can just go ahead to cut out the pattern. So what I will advise you to do is to make sure that you use a tracing wheel to trace out one part of this. You cannot, you cannot necessarily cut it like this and it will give what you need to trace out either the inner side or the outer bodice. Do you guys get? So when you trace it out, you'll be able to cut it out eventually. So for the back, you can just cut the back and cut all, but for the front, please trace it out.